Hey paper crafting friends, thanks for tuning in today. I want to share with you a little bit about using Kiwi Lane's large bracket to design layouts today. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks for this. First, we're going to create a 2-page layout, and I am really going for some basic layouts today, showing you how to use that bracket to get something fun on your paper. I'm going to leave the embellishing part up to you, so I hope that's okay. Then I want to share with you a way to use those scraps from the layout that we just made to create a second layout pretty quickly. The last thing that I'm going to show you how to do with this large bracket is how you can use it to create this keepsake a la carte shape. I've got so many customers that are super sad that they cannot get this keepsake a la carte. So I want to show you how to make this using your large bracket templates. If you don't have the large bracket templates, that's on you, because you can get those ones in the shop. So that's a problem you can solve, but I can help you figure out how to make that with this. So let me show you the paper that I'm going to use today. I have been playing with this Park Lane paper stack. It's called Bloom de Fleur. And in an earlier video, I went through and created little layout packets, basically, like pages that I think coordinate well together that I want to use in future projects. So I pulled one of those out and I just added some background paper, okay? So these are the papers that are actually from that Park Lane stack. Okay, so we're going to use this really pretty metallic floral, and then just a solid green, and then a burgundy, and then this kind of ivory paper with a really beautiful gold foil design on it. So those are going to be our stars today. And as far as the background paper, I just chose a really simple cardstock. This is Toffee. This is a close to my heart cardstock. It is double-sided, so depending on how rich of color you want to pull in, you can kind of decide. I think I'm going to go with this side, but this one would also be beautiful. So I think you could go either way. Okay, but I do love the richness of this set of papers together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get all of these ones that were in the stack. I'm going to get these cut down to 12 inches so that we're all kind of speaking the same language. And I am going to get busy right away with some cutting. So let me get these cut down to 12, and then I'll pop right back on and show you how I'm going to trace and cut this piece first with that large bracket. Okay, so there are 3 different large brackets in the set, okay? They are similar, but they actually have some personality of their own. This one here is my favorite. This is the one I'm going to be featuring for this layout. It's large bracket 2. And I think that this paper is going to be a little bit tricky to trace on with all of this gold foiling. So I'm going to go ahead and flip on the reverse side. And because I'm turning it over, I'm also going to turn over my template. With these brackets, that's not really necessary, but old habits die hard. So I'm just going to go ahead and trace this. I'm going to do one on each side, like this. Okay. Because I really love the shape that ends up created, and I want to have some of that shape left. Okay. So those are ready to roll. I'm going to go ahead and cut those, and then I'll pop back on and show you the next step. So I got both of those cut. I'm going to position one up at the top of the left-hand page, and I'm going to position the other coming in from the right-hand page. Okay, and then here's my scrap. So just kind of keep that shape in mind. It almost looks like a candlestick or an hourglass, something like that. This paper happens to be double-sided, so I do have either side to deal with, but we're going to be using this piece in our second layout. So I'm going to just set that one aside for now. What I want to do next is use a couple of pieces of this to just do a little bit more of that gold accenting. So I'm going to take a strip of this, probably, I would say about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to cut 2 1.5 inch strips with this to put here and here on the paper. So I'll get those cut along with a complementary color. So for me, that's going to be this solid burgundy. So I'm going to cut an inch strip of this. So I'll do actually 2 1-inch strips of this. And then I want another small piece to kind of accent and highlight on here. I have not decided for sure what I want to do. Sometimes I'll use ribbon to kind of create a little piece on here, or a washi tape. I may use a piece of this paper, I just haven't decided yet. So let's get this one done first. So I ended up deciding that what I want to use on this strip here is just a little strip of ribbon. And I found this ribbon that's got a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's very similar to the background, but I just like the shininess of it without it being too much. So I'm going to cut a couple of strips of this, and this is about where I'm going to position these 1.5 inch and 1-inch strips. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and just cut it a little bit bigger than 12 so that I'll have enough to kind of wrap around the back. I just need 2 strips of this, one for each side of the layout. And I don't know about you, but I have way more ribbon than I know what to do with. So when I find a use for it, I'm always super excited. To make this really easy on myself, I'm going to run both of these strips through my Xyron. So I'm just going to put them in side by side. Okay, like that. And pull them straight through. Ribbon can be hard to get to lay down nice and flat, so I find that this is just a good solution. So clearly I'm making a big mess with what I already have laid out here, but I'm going to go ahead and just rub this and make sure I get some good adhesive on the back. Okay, so give me a minute. I'm going to get these things inked and taped down where they are. And then I'll pop back on and show you how I'm going to apply these. And then we'll get some photo mats cut. And that'll be all I'm going to do for this particular layout. And then we're going to move on and use this piece, remember this scrap piece, as the star for another layout. Okay, so those are inked and attached to the page, which will make this next step a little bit easier. So with the Xyron, you just peel off the extra little plastic sheet, and that's going to pull off all the extra adhesive. And then when you pull up your ribbon strips, now they're like a sticker. So that makes it a little easier to be able to get them onto your page where they're going to lay down nice and flat, and you won't have any kind of bouncing up, you know, popping up on the edges, wrinkling, that kind of thing. So it just makes a really nice clean line. So that one's done, and I just wrapped the extra around the back. Let's get this one real quick. I'm just coming in, I don't know, it's probably around 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit more, 5/8, I don't know. Press it down and wrap. Okay, so there's the basic layout. Man, you can use this for just about anything, you guys. And then whatever you want to go on and do to embellish, that's going to be really quick and easy. I do have this dark green piece left, and this is going to be my photo matting paper. So I'm just going to quickly cut 6 photo mats with this one. So I'm going to cut it right at 6 inches. I'm going to take my 2 6-inch strips. I'm actually going to do these together. I'm going to put them in my trimmer at 8. And then at 4. And that's going to create 6 4x6 photo mats. I will ink these before I actually attach them to my page, but I just want to share a real quick layout with you just for an idea. So I would probably end up lifting this just a little bit. Okay, something like that. And then one here. And then on this other side, I'm going to do one up here at the top, either overlapping or hitting here, either way. And then 2 here at the bottom. Okay. For these photos that are coming across and touching this strip, I would really consider doing something to highlight those and add a little bit of, I don't know, visual appeal, I guess. So one of the things that I like to do is grab a piece of ribbon, and I'll just, this is probably an 8-inch strip, something like that. I'll take the 2 ends and tie them in a, not a bow, because bows are hard. I'll just tie them in a knot, something like this, okay? And then I will take that loop and cut it, okay? And then apply it to the bottom of the photo mat, something like this. I don't actually attach it to the front because I want to make sure I can slip my photo in. I just turn it over and I use my adhesive, make a little line there, wrap that extra ribbon around, okay, and then just cut this at a point, something that's going to look a little more finished. And then when you're ready to slip your photo in, you can just slip it in behind that ribbon, and that kind of helps tie everything together. So I would do the same with this photo up here. So I want to show you a layout that I did that was exactly this layout, exact same style. And this was just an autumn one. So same exact idea, using some ribbon, using a patterned piece of paper, using the background sheets, and this is how it came together. So I think sometimes we want to do too much and we don't always let our photos do the talking. So pretty simple layout, but it came together really cute. So that's one way to use your large bracket. Now I told you I was going to share another idea with you featuring this scrap. So this is what I have to show you. If you look at the back side, okay, these papers are really beautiful on the back and they go together really well. So here's just the scraps from what I just did, and I'm going to create something that looks completely different with this. So let me grab a background paper and I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do. So the background paper I picked is called Flamingo. This is another close to my heart paper, and I think that it's just going to be fun with the rest of this palette. So completely different than what I just did, but hysterically using the scraps. So the first thing I want to do is take this really gorgeous leftover piece, and we need to see what size it is. So it is just shy of 10 inches. So I am going to position it in my trimmer and try to get it pretty closely to half. I'm not going to be exact probably, but the goal is to get it pretty close to in half so that you've got your two sides that you can deal with. Now you have choices here. You could do something like this and literally just have it right smack in the middle of your page. You could do from the outside and kind of frame in your layout. Okay, lots of choices. In my case, this is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna kick it in just a bit. Okay, because the other thing that I wanna do is use this gorgeous floral and create a border that's going to come in here. Okay, so let me grab a border strip and show you what you could do with this. All right, so I know right now one of the things that we're really featuring in Kiwi Lane are our fun borders. So I went ahead and grabbed Cascade Trails because it's just got a really cool shape to it. Now, I know that I want a straight edge over here, and obviously Cascade Trails doesn't have that, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna position it on my paper so that I have the shape that I want up against a straight edge, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just estimate where I want this. And instead of tracing both sides of this, I'm just gonna trace one. Okay, so I've got that. Now I can go ahead and do a scissor cut along that line and put that piece here. And then I can do a cut with my trimmer and make a straight cut here. And really I just used that Cascade Trails like I would use one of the traditional borders. So much flexibility in those, you guys. Don't forget that there's more than one way to use those templates. Let me get this cut. Okay, so I went ahead and got those cut, and there's those border strips, and I haven't inked anything or attached it yet. I wanted to take a quick look at some ideas for some photo mats. I'm thinking that I would use this piece that I have left. Okay, so that was that burgundy that I cut a couple of strips. I've got this other really beautiful pink side, so I could cut some photo mats from this. And what I was thinking, if I used like a 4x6 and a couple of 4x5s, I could also fit a 5x7 out of this, and maybe use one of the sentiment cards. I could cut this into 3x4s to go on here. So many really cool things that I could do. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one up off camera, and I'll put some pictures of it at the very end of the video because I wanted to make sure I had time to show you how to use your large brackets to create this keepsake a la carte. So I'm hoping, I think I'm gonna grab a lighter piece of paper to be the background for this because you can see the template really well, but you're not gonna be able to see my trace lines. So give me just a second and I'll share that with you. All right, so here's that sought after keepsake a la carte. When you look at your large brackets, there aren't any that are exactly the same curve and shape as the keepsake, but boy, is this one close, okay? So what I wanted to share with you is how you can use this one. So large bracket 1 and large bracket 3 to make this happen. So point to point, we're looking at almost 11 inches. It's about an eighth short of 11 inches. So 10 7/8, if that is really important to you, okay? So just for the sake of, I guess the math of it, I would just do a little mark on your paper at 6 inches just to get the center. Make sure that you've done that on all of the edges so you don't end up with some super wonky thing going on here. Okay. And I am not measuring how far out I'm coming. It's approximately a 1/2 inch, but I just want to have that kind of center place to start from. Okay. Then I would grab large bracket 1. Okay. And you're going to be doing some tracing and then erasing, but I just think it's easier to just do that. So get your large bracket 1. If you've got your edges straight on your paper, you're in good shape. Okay, go ahead and trace all the way around. You're going to do this all 4 directions. Okay. Hopefully you can see it's kind of shaping up already. All right, so that's the basic idea. But if you look, okay, ooh, so close, right? The one that I just made is a tiny bit bigger. If that really worries you, then I would think about bringing your measurements in closer to, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, okay, on each, when you bring that measurement in. What's the big difference right now is the one that I made, the corners kind of come out to a sharp point, and you don't really want that. This large bracket 3 has a really nice rounded corner that will work a little bit better. So I would just kind of position this. I'd bring it down a little bit, and I would use, you can actually turn it even a little bit. I would use this to make that corner just a little bit nicer. Okay. And that is going to straighten that up. Is it exactly the same as the Keepsake template? No. Would you rather have the Keepsake template made out of the really nice material and all of that? Of course. But if you don't have it and you can't get it, here's a substitute for you for now. So someday maybe they'll re-release it. That would be amazing. And I know a lot of people who would be super happy. But in the meantime, there's that. And I hope that helps. So hopefully you guys got some tips tonight and had fun creating along with me. I really had a good time popping on tonight. I haven't gotten to share with the whole Kiwi Lane community in a while. So I hope some people tuned in and had a chance to see me have a chance to create. So thanks for taking the time tonight, and I will see you again another time. Take care. Bye-bye.